everybody, today we have beautiful gaming Acer Predator Helios 300 series. It's a PH315 model with Intel Core i7 12th gen processor and RTX 3060 graphics and beautiful screen with 165 Hz refresh rate. Let's take it apart, let's see what we can fix, replace or upgrade. Start with bottom screws. So now we have to separate the bottom case from the palmrest. So find a gap where you can put your tool. So once you find a gap, work your way around the edge to disconnect all the clips. Okay, and this way the bottom is off. So that's our case bottom. Now we can see all the internal components. So start with disconnecting the battery. Now take out all the screws. And this is how you can take out the battery. So if the battery is swollen or doesn't hold the charge, you can replace it. Here we have the model number for the battery. Now let's check under that cover. There should be our RAM memory. So if the memory doesn't work or you would like to upgrade with the bigger one, this is how you can do it. Spread those arms and you can pull out the memory. Here we can see our storage. So if your laptop doesn't boot and tells you no boot device, or you would like to upgrade storage to the bigger one, that's how you can do it. So that's the NVMe SSD drive. This is where your Windows is loaded. Here we can see our Wi-Fi card. So if the Wi-Fi doesn't work, you can replace this card. Gently disconnect the antenna wires and unscrew the screw on the top. And that's our Wi-Fi card. Here we have the model number. Okay, now let's take out our heatsink and fans. So sometimes if the laptop overheats, you would like to replace the cooling paste between GPU or CPU and the heatsink. This is how we can do it. So unscrew all the screws for the heatsink. Unplug the video cable, it's routed here above our fan. So now let's continue with taking out screws for the fan. Sometimes the fan doesn't spin, or it's clogged with cat hair or dog hair, or it's making grinding noise and you would like to replace it. So that's how you do it. Once all the screws are out, disconnect from the motherboard. Now let's lift the heatsink. Watch out, it could be stuck to the processor or the GPU because of the cooling paste. So be gentle, don't bend it. If you bend it, it won't work anymore. So that's the heatsink. Look for the part number on the white sticker. And those are our fans. So now let's continue with the I/O board. This is I/O board with our USB, network and audio port. So if one of those ports doesn't work, you can replace this board. Unscrew the screw here, unplug the speaker, and unplug this board from the motherboard. And now we can take it out. Here we have the part number. Now let's take out our speakers. So if the sound is bad, you would like to replace your speakers. So just disconnect from the motherboard and you can take them out. And here we have the part numbers. And now we are pulling out our motherboard, so disconnect all the remaining clips, connectors, like for the touchpad, etc. And then take out all the remaining screws. And I will keep the, actually let's disconnect the CMOS battery. One more connector on the bottom. And now we can pull out the motherboard. Here we can see our processor and the graphics GPU. They both soldered on the motherboard. So if these don't work, you have to replace the whole motherboard. And that's our part number. So now let's disconnect our screen assembly from the Palmrest keyboard assembly. So let's see, let's check here. We have to take off that hinge cover. Okay, so this is our hinge cover. Here we have the part number. Now we can unscrew our hinges. Now we can disconnect screen assembly. Okay, so that's our Palmrest keyboard touchpad assembly. Let's see if we can take out the touchpad. Now let's take out these screws. Okay, this way the touchpad is out. So that's the touchpad. So if it doesn't work, you can replace just the touchpad. And now let's see our keyboard. The keyboard is riveted to the Palmrest, so you cannot replace it. So if the keyboard doesn't work, you have to buy the whole keyboard Palmrest assembly like that. So look for the part numbers on those white stickers. And by the way, if you need parts, check gotlaptopparts.com. Now let's take out our screen. Here the bezel is cracked, so find a gap where you can start disconnecting the clips from the bezel. Sometimes you have to wiggle this plastic strip to disconnect both clips. So that's our front bezel. Unfortunately, it's cracked. Here we have the part number. Now there should be adhesive strip sticking out, so you can pull it out from underneath the screen. Let's unscrew the hinges. Let's see if we can find it underneath. So these are our hinges. Here we have the part numbers. I don't see the adhesive strip sticking out, so let's see if we can gently lift the screen. Looks like maybe someone replaced it already in the past. So I was able to take out the screen without cracking it. So the screen was glued with those two adhesive strips and they didn't stick out, so you couldn't catch it. So just gently lifting and praying that it will not crack helped. So now let's disconnect our video cable and the webcam cable. Now flip that clip here and you can pull out the connector. Alright, so that's our beautiful screen. Here we have the model number. And now let's take out our video cable, in case if you have to replace yours. Alright, so that's the video cable and the webcam cable. Here we have the part number on the cable, on the white sticker. And that's our back cover of the webcam. Let's see if we can take out the webcam. No, it's very fragile. Let's leave it in. It's glued to the back cover. Alright, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video.